Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh to Dr. Purnomo Emantara. Today we will present about MGT345, which is Operation Management subject. We will present selected questions from chapter 5, 6, 7 and 8. Before we begin, let me introduce our team member, which is my name is Yasmin Zahra Yazid, and then we have Fatin Nur Akafi binti Nazmi, Nur Rasha Sofia binti Muhammad Hidayat, and Nur Ana Izia binti Nazaruddin.
I will explain Chapter 5, Process Strategies and Layout Decision. This question is about designing an efficient production line for Timaru Meat Corporation. The given information, there are 10 production tasks from A to J. Each task has a different processing time, and some tasks depend on previous tasks before they can begin. The company operates 420 minutes per day, 5 days per week, and the weekly demand is 2,800 units. Next is the precedence diagram. This diagram shows the correct sequence of each task. For example, task D starts after task A, while task E can only begin after both task C and task D are completed. This helps ensure the production process follows the correct order. Next, we calculate the cycle time using the formula. Available production time divided by weekly demand. The available production time is 126,000 seconds per week. After dividing by the weekly demand of 2,800 units, the cycle time is 45 seconds per unit. This means one unit should be completed every 45 seconds to meet customer demand. Next, for the workstations, the total processing time is 159 seconds. By dividing it by the cycle time, the minimum number of workstations is 4. However, after arranging the tasks according to the precedence rules, the production line requires 5 workstations to ensure every task fits within the cycle time. Finally, the production line efficiency is 70.67%, which means most of the available working time is used effectively. The balance delay is 29.33%, representing the idle time in the production line. Based on this idle time, the idle cost per day is 58.66 ringgit. In conclusion, the production line has a cycle time of 45 seconds per unit, requires 5 workstations, and achieves an efficiency of 70.67%. Thank you.
Now for question chapter 6, we are given 8 activities from A until H along with their predecessors and durations. Based on this information, we first construct the PERT network to determine the project schedule. Now, after completing the forward pass and backward pass calculations, we have found that the total project completion time is 37 months. Next, we identified the critical path. The critical activities are A, B, D, F, G, and H. These activities have 0 total float, which means they cannot be delayed, and if any of these activities are delayed, the whole project will also be delayed. Now let's calculate the floats for activity C. First is the total float. So the formula is latest finish minus early start minus duration. So for activity C, the calculation is 27 minus 12 minus 4, which equals to 11 months. This means that activity C can be delayed up to 11 months without affecting the overall project completion time. Next is the free float. The formula is early start of the next activity minus early finish of the current activity. The calculation is 16 minus 16, which equals to 0 months. This means if activity C is delayed, it will immediately affect the next activity, so there is no free float available. Lastly is the independent float. The formula is early start of the next activity minus latest finish of the preceding activity minus the activity duration. So the calculation is 16 minus 12 minus 4, which also equals to 0 months. So activity C has no independent float, meaning it cannot be delayed independently without depending on the timing of other activities. Finally, if activity G is delayed by 3 weeks, the project completion time will also be delayed by 3 weeks because activity G is a part of the critical path and has zero total float. Since there is no slack time available, any delay in activity G directly delays the entire project.
For Chapter 7, we'll look at the work measurement. A time study was done on a job with three tasks: Task A, Task B, and Task C. All three tasks must be complete to finish 1 unit of output. Some unusual observations were removed from the data. We are also given allowance 30 minutes for personal time, 50 minutes for relaxation, and 20 minutes for the process, with the working hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. First, we are calculate the average observed time or AOT by adding up the observed time and dividing by the number of observation. For task A, AOT is 2.35 minutes, for task B, 3.4 minutes, and for task D, 6.5 minutes. Next, we're going to find normal time by multiplying AOT with the performance rating, then dividing by 100. This gives us 2.82 minutes for A, 2.72 minutes for B, and 5.85 minutes for C. Adding all three together, the total basic or normal time is 11.39 minutes. Next, we calculated how many units a worker can produce in 2 weeks. We take the working hours in minutes, 8 hours times 60 times 10 working days, and divide by the standard time, 13.78 minutes. This gives 348 units of outputs for 2 weeks. To meet a monthly demand of 6,000 units, we divide the target output by the daily standard output over 2 weeks. This gives about 8.6, so we round up to 9 workers needed. Finally, if a worker is paid 10 ringgit per hour, we calculated labor cost per unit by multiplying standard time with hourly wage, then dividing by 60 minutes. This gives 2 ringgit and 30 cents per unit.
So for the last chapter, we have chapter 8, which is aggregate planning. We have one question here, which is stated that BJ Electronic Manufacturing Information Technology IT components for Zil Computer Berhad. The manufacturing company has developed an aggregate capacity plan for January to June 2022 as follows. Okay, and then we have additional information here, which is the current workforce is 15 direct workers. Standard output is at 20 minutes per unit. And then we have regular working hour is at 8 hour per day. Regular labor cost is at 4 ringgit per hour. Overtime rate is at 6 ringgit per hour. Inventory carrying cost is at 1 ringgit 50 cents per unit per month. Subcontract cost is at 8 ringgit per unit. And then working days is at 26 days per month. And then we have additional information also, which is in addition to the contract with Zil Computer Berhad, the monthly forecast demand from other buyers is 3,000 units of IT components. So the first step is we need to find the total forecast demand, which is from January until June. Okay, the original amount for the January is 6,500 units, but it stated that the monthly forecast demand from other buyers is 3,000 units. So we need to plus 3,000 for every month, okay? And from January until June. So the accumulated amount for total for this 6 months is 60,500 units. Okay, the step 2, we need to find the standard output for planning period, which is we need to find 1 hour, 1 day, 1 month for 15 workers, and total standard output for 6 months, and also whether it is excess or shortage. Okay, 1 hour we got 3 units, 1 day we got 24 units from 8 hours times 3 units. Okay, for the 1 month, we got 624 units, which is from 26 days times 24 units. Okay, for the 1 month for 15 workers, we got 9,360 units. Okay, for the total standard output for 6 months, we got 56,160 units. Okay, we got from the 9,360 units times 6 months. Okay, the last step, we need to calculate whether this is excess or shortage, right? So we need to calculate the total standard output from the 6 months minus the total forecast demand that we calculate before this. So we got 143,401 units. So for the step 3, we need to compute and specify the breakdown of resources every month. So we need to do table that consists of numbers of workers, productive days, beginning inventory, unit produce, forecast demand, excess or shortage, and then inventory, and last one is overtime. So for the January, it consists of 15 workers. The productive days is 26 days. It does not have beginning inventory. The unit produced is 9,360. Forecast demand is 9,500. It is excess because we need to minus from the 9,360 to focus demand, which is we got 140. 140 we need to put in overtime because it is shortage. So we need to calculate like this, apply to all months from February until June. So we got for the total forecast demand, we got 60,500 500 unit. For the unit produce, we got 56,160 unit, and for overtime we got 4,340. So the last step is we need to calculate all the costs that we had, which is the first is wages. We calculate it from 8 hours times 26 days times 50 workers times 4 ringgit and 6 months. And then we got 74,880 ringgit. For the inventory carrying cost, equal to 250 units times 115 ringgits. So we got 319 ringgit. For the cost of overtime, we got 8,618 ringgit. So for the total cost, we need to plus all the cost that we calculate before, which is wages, inventory carrying cost, and cost of overtime, which is equal to 83,950 ringgit.